And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bubba and the Bloom, episode 258. Coming at you on a Wednesday night, a night later than usual. Some scheduling changes this week. But hey, we're here. We're rocking. We're rolling. It's a Bloomboard night. First half recap, positional recaps begin this evening. It'll take a couple episodes to go through all those. So we'll get you up to date throughout the weeks, plus the fab previews as usual. But first off, you can find me on Twitter at BDintric, the podcast at Bubba Bloom Pod, and on Patreon at patreon.com/Bubba Bloom. And my co-host, as always, on Twitter at RyanBHQ. Ryan Bloomfield, how are we doing, my friend?
Couldn't be better. The college football game is out this week, so we're
See, that's why we moved the show, folks. There's kidding.
That's right, man. Had to get it in that early release. Had to move it back from Tuesday to Wednesday. I know. So that's out. That's good. Went out happy hour, a couple beers this afternoon. So that was nice.
Damn, living the dream.
And then my guy Jack Cagg's starting to turn around. So just everything's good right now.
That's good to hear. Everything is good. Yeah, Cags 466 straightaway center off of your boy or Ben's boy, Bailey Falter.
Oh, so yeah, that's not my boy.
Yeah, but
no, that was impressive.
Crime,
yeah,
which is good to see. Really
Agreed.
Good to see.
Agreed. I did mention in the Discord earlier this week. I looked at my teams. I did not bench him, but
you thought you did.
It's like I'm thinking I'm benching him. And everyone was like, "Thank you for your service." Yep. He'll come around. He is coming around.
Yeah, we keep saying it, and most of the time, if you keep watching the metrics and everything, like the plate discipline was still good, the quality of contact was still good. He's a young ball player, and more importantly, like you've said and others have said, they keep playing him every day. Like they want him to figure it out. So unlike Ben Rice, who doesn't get to play anymore because of Giancarlo Stanton, even Jason Dominguez, who every time he plays lately is really good, then he sits for a few days. Some teams get it and some don't. It's the nicest way I'll put it.
Yeah. So, yep.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast for another day, most likely. But before we get to the news and notes and to the Bloom boards, my friend, let's talk about something that has been locked down for early November. What do you got for us?
Yeah, we are confirmed. We are doing a cross promotion with my favorite golf podcast, No Laying Up, where there's the Bubba and the Bloom Invitational on Thursday, November 6th. 10:15 a.m. So if you are coming out to Arizona or live in Arizona, join us for golf. Dobson Ranch, November 6th, 10:15 a.m. We got 7 tee times. We've already filled 3 or 4. So things are moving in the right direction. But just DM us if you want to play golf. It's a perfect way to kick off First Pitch Arizona. And then No Laying Up just happens to be there the next 2 days. So if y'all don't know what No Laying Up is, I don't blame you, but they're the only golf podcast I regularly listen to. So they truly will be there the next 2 days, but there is no actual cross promotion. It's just us trying to hitch our whatever to their wagon. Hitch our wagon to whatever it is.
Yeah, I got you. I feel you. I smell what you're putting down. But to maybe help some people that might be nervous about this, you don't have to be good at golf to come play with us.
No,
we have people that like Ryan's a scratch golfer, and then it goes all the way to like 36 handicaps. Like we're just out there to have a good time. If you want to pick up. No one cares. Like literally, just enjoy and see where it goes from there. And more importantly, it's about hanging out. We usually once we get all the people signed up, Ryan and I we actually spend some time making the foursomes. Ryan and I always play together. That's just a tradition. But we usually try to make it where it's like analysts. There's 1 or 2 analysts with 1 or 2 just like fans or like patrons basically to kind of mix and match it. It's not like we seclude people. We try to mix it all together and have a good time. So
yep.
It's literally let's just have some fun. Let's golf. Maybe have a few noons, beers, waters, whatever you want to do. And then we get ready to kick off FPAS that night with usually the meet and greets at some ballpark. Don't know all the details just yet. It's just the beginning of a really great weekend in Arizona. So come join us. And we are very excited to be back in Dobson. That's where it all began. We spent the first couple of years in Dobson. We couldn't get in last year because we had a Sunday tee time because of scheduling issues. So we moved to a very nice golf course. Not going to knock it. Very nice golf course. But it's not our flavor, if that makes sense, for what's taking place. We're going back to Dobson, and we're pretty dang pumped. We get buckets and noons at Dobson. So we're pretty pumped on this.
Yeah,
they know who we are. Let's put it that way.
We got our first bucket. I just saw Bubba's face just glean up a few years ago. So.
Oh, I didn't send you the picture when I was in Denver for Metallica. Bought a bucket of Noons when I sat down at the first bar, pounded those, went to the concert. It was great.
I did see that. You put it in the Discord.
I put it in the Discord. That's right. My bad.
Your memory may be blurry of that evening, which I don't blame.
As Metallica says, the memory remains. But
right.
yes,
but yeah, if you're interested, hit us up, join us. We won't pump it every single episode, but come out to First Pitch Arizona anyway. But if you are there, want to spend an afternoon outside with us, it's a great time.
And one of the last things, I keep saying that, but the last couple of years we've also given like tea prizes for people that come and play there. Just throwing that out there. There might be some Bubba in the Bloom swag that you can only get when you come play in the golf tournament. Just throw that one out there for a second as well. People have been enjoying that also. So we try to make it just a fun event that everybody takes part in and kicks off a great week. All right. Mitch asked a question. Will there be Metallica-esque mosh pits at first pitch? Usually Saturday night outside the poker room. Yes.
Or when the bar closes at closing time.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm referring to. When the no-host bar shuts down at about 10:30 and they tell you can't bring your own drinks.
Yeah.
That's when
you'll see people walking out full of IPAs. four beers at a time getting through it. So yeah, there might be some of that, Mitch.
Yep. All right, let's talk about a little news and notes here. Clark Schmidt is going to have Tommy John surgery. He's still waiting for the second opinion, but we know how that goes. So he's going to be out for the season. Make Schlitt happens is what I called him. I believe Ben Tidd actually texted me today that Schlitter is actually his last name. His parents were in the stands with a sign that said Schlitt happens. So they're my new favorite parents, I think, in baseball. He had really good moments and the first time jitter moments. But what are your thoughts on the Yankee situation?
There's just too much risk. There's too much risk saying the word Schlittler. It could just go sideways in many ways. I vote for Schlitz.
I said that on the show too. Like, I know. Hey, like Farva, Schlitz, 6 Schlitzes. Yeah,
I mean Schlitz. I don't know if you drank Schlitz in college. It's a little older than us.
I drink Old English. Yeah.
Oh God, it's even worse.
That or a 32-ounce Miller High Life.
Okay.
They were $1 each, a party pack of 20. It was great. We're old folks. Just throwing it out there. It's just how it worked in college. Like, get a keg of Keystone Light for $40. How things worked.
That's God. Yeah. I like Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. It's easy for me to remember. I mean, I think he stays in the rotation. Right. I think the skills, like at least in the minor I thought looked pretty good tonight against the Mariners. 7 strikeouts, good minor numbers this year, good number of whiffs, good number of strikes. And I think the rotation spot's safe, like relatively. I mean, I know like Luis Gil at some point might be coming back, but like maybe that's a risk, but I don't know. I think go ahead.
Well, I'll just say with Luis Gil, he's going to start a rehab assignment this weekend. The earliest he returns is likely the last weekend in July, but they're thinking probably early August. So after the All-Star break, that still gives you probably 3 weeks of Schlitz.
Yeah. Which, and anything more than that, we don't, someone else could get hurt. Stroman could go AWOL again and never know what happens. So I think Schlitz is probably one of the better, at least in terms of like upside or whatever, at least in 15 teamers in terms of fab this weekend to prioritize. Win potential. Don't love the park, but I like the skills that we saw. I thought he looked pretty good tonight. So I'm a fan of Schlitz, the pitcher and the pitcher as well.
Yeah. Like I was telling someone in the Discord, is the way pitching has been so horrible lately.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm good with 5 or 6 innings, 3 or 4 runs, as long as they get me over a K per inning. Like I'm living with that right now. It sounds horrible, but that's actually a good start most days. Sadly enough. So like I started working on the matchups column for tomorrow's HQ. It is one of the most horrific pitching slates I've ever seen. Like horrible. If there's not a million runs scored tomorrow, I'll be shocked.
And it's not going to get better because of injuries and B, the weather, summer, it's not trending well for pitchers.
So if he's throwing 5 innings, giving up 3 and striking out 7, you'll take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So yeah. So that's where I wanted to go with that one. Like I would totally be on board. Keimer Ruiz, he's back, baby. Then he's not back. Came back for like a game from the concussion IL. Back on the concussion IL, which is not good at all. Like if you're back that quickly, that gives me like just or more no feelings. That's taken it to an extreme level. But this feels like one of those. I wrote it up in the news last night that I don't think we're seeing him for a while. This is you can't mess with this.
I hope not, honestly.
Yeah, this is one he needs to be good to go. So, any thoughts on Mr. Ruiz?
Yeah, no, certainly. I don't want to make light of it. Like it's not good to just come back for a game and go back on the concussion IL. So not great at all. I don't have much else. This was a disaster of a season after those two famous home runs in March for Keibert Ruiz. I don't know. Riley Adams is the new primary catcher. Average pop, tons of Ks. Like I think just kind of your typical second catcher streamer based on schedules or whatever going forward. So no, I don't have anything else there.
Reese's Pieces, Rhys Hoskins to the IL with a thumb sprain, grade 2 thumb sprain. Not going to be back till at least middle of August. So we're talking 4 to 6 weeks. When it comes to Rhys Hoskins, Andrew Vaughn got the call. He homered in his first game. He's been playing pretty much every day since getting called up, which the concern I had was would he platoon with Jake Bowers? So far, not happening. We'll see where that continues to go. Any thoughts on the Milwaukee first base situation?
Yeah, I think we want the idea of Andrew Vaughn to work over actual Andrew Vaughn. Like it just hasn't been much over Vaughn's career. But I think in the short term, like if Vaughn continues to play every day, that's something you want to monitor the rest of this week heading into the All-Star break. I don't even know about 12 teamers, but I think in 15 teamers, if you need that corner, take anyone who's playing regularly, but at least Andrew Vaughn can be solid if things start to break right. So certainly not expecting some like post type breakout or anything here, but for as long as Reese's Pieces is out, I think Vaughn is serviceable in deeper leagues, but I don't know. Like, are you looking at him in 12s?
No, not unless he starts really finding that swing. I have
right.
No interest in that at this point in time. At 15's 100%. Like I got him in DCs, and now he's actually going to be viable for me because
got him in some like best balls. It's like yes. I can't do anything about it, but it's like, hey, I've got him.
He has a good week. He's going to get in, so it works even better than a DC, honestly. The one thing I'd suggest to Andrew Vaughn, and I know he's not listening, bro, I shaved my head when I was 17. That boy's got a hair. That boy's like Hulk Hogan has a better hairline than Andrew Vaughn right now. He needs someone to reach out to him and tell him like we can fix this.
Did see that. Did see the hairline. Tough scene. But hey, man, I mean, if you're in the White Sox system for more than 5 years, it's going to do that to you.
Fall out too.
Do that to you.
Because when he was at Cal, he looked like Josh Donaldson with like the buzz
saw him play in college.
Yeah, he looked like a buzz cut like Josh Donaldson, and then after a handful of years in Chicago, the dude's looking like
guy's like
bad deal.
He's like me. He's like aged 40 years and 6 years since I've had kids, but for him, it's been the White Sox. I don't know if he has kids or not.
He's been hanging out with Uncle Tony too much. It was a rough go.
It happens.
Andres Jimenez to the IL once again, aggravating the ankle injury. He's going to be out for a few weeks. They said it'll be some time before we see him again. That's the analysis they gave us. So Davis Schneider looks to be plugged in, swinging it well at this point in time. We've seen that before, though, with Davis Schneider. So take your grains of salt, but thoughts on your Andres Jimenez situation going forward?
Yeah, tough hold for me. I don't know. The timing definitely sucks. Schneider actually he's only started once at second base the last 5 games, kind of since the injury, and hasn't played the last 2 games against righties. I don't even know if Schneider plays regularly against right-handed pitching, but it might just be like a hodgepodge at second base. Leo Jimenez started second base at 9th today against a righty on Wednesday. So who knows? Your boy Ernie Clement, just more safety there. Don't need to talk him up any more than we have already this season. So as Dr. Doom says in the chat, there you go. Ernie Clement taking second base. Blah blah blah.
It's like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. But no, I thought Davis Schneider for me was actually interesting in 15 teamers, but unless he plays like every day, I'm not going there.
Yep, I agree as well, because swinging it well, but got to play, of course. Lane Thomas back to the IL with plantar fasciitis the second time this season. So again, I think that might be a longer stint on the IL. Don't have a whole lot to go off of there that I'm interested in. Like Angel Martinez hit a home run that only would have been a home run in Houston on Tuesday. So I'm not overly excited on this. Like Nolan Jones is swinging it well if that's something that does it for you, but he's still platooning also.
Right. Nolan Jones was going to be a strong side platooner anyway. Like Angel Martinez is the playing time winner, at least for now, with Lane Thomas on the IL. But yeah, despite the cheapy grand slam that Martinez had, the skills, it's like a 3% barrel rate. There's just no hard contact there without much speed. So I just think this makes Cleveland it's not like Lane Thomas was all that, but this makes Cleveland like that, dude. That lineup it's bad. Brutal. It's a stream against type of lineup right now.
What's really weird with Cleveland is they do this every year where like the top 3 or 4 guys are like, okay, that's pretty good. And then it's just whatever takes place. They do it every single season.
Yep.
And they somehow get close to making the playoffs every year. Gary Sanchez, that was a fun week we had. Really cool week off the waiver wire. Things were good. Now he's out 6 to 8 weeks with his knee sprain. You can drop him, move on. Don't even worry about the replacements for now. Hopefully Adley Rutschman comes back in the next week or so.
That's your hope, because Baltimore is running out of options at catcher. And they're not going to call up, what's the prospect's name? Basayo,
yeah. They could have done that a long time ago. They're obviously not going to.
I don't see that happening. At least maybe a September cup of tea, but they want to keep that rookie eligibility for next year. So yeah, you're just waiting for Adley to come back at this point. But yeah, hell of a run for Gary Sanchez while it lasted.
Yep. Pavin Smith, he heads to the IL with an oblique injury. I was dropping him already. Now he's done. So what are your thoughts on the situation in Arizona?
Dude, just more like paths for second half McCarthy, which is what I like to see. We thought maybe it would close down with Corbin Carroll coming back somewhat miraculously, hitting leadoff.
He has hit his 21st home run of the season.
I know, like he's off and running. So like, yeah, which is awesome to see. But I thought originally Jake McCarthy might be hurting for playing time there, but that helps McCarthy's stance. But I don't know if there's anything actionable with Pavin Smith going to the IL in terms of fill-ins. It was a rough year for Pavin Smith. We were both pretty high on him entering the season as like a strong side streamer, but it did not happen.
Did not happen at all. Last bit of news I have here, Jameson Taillon to the IL. He's going to be out for quite some time, at least a month, if not longer, with his calf strain. What do you have on this situation? Because right now they're still searching for a fifth starter. Jordan Wicks got called up. He's been doing long relief. Your boy Assad is still a little ways away from returning, so it's going to be kind of maybe we get back to Ben Brown, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. This is one I don't think we'll know for a while. Like Flexen, I think, is slated to start Friday. That's another option, but we'll see if they bring Ben Brown back. I don't know. I'm skeptical. I'm not in on Facade. I'm not in on Flexen. I'm not in on Jordan Wicks either. So tough.
Yeah, for Taillon's first start, he missed. They opened with Pomeranz and went with Flexen afterwards, and it went exactly how you thought it would go. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And as Adam says here, Mitch Keller before he's traded to the Cubs. That's been a strong rumor.
Right.
Is Keller to the Cubs, so that would make a ton of possibilities as well. So makes sense, but keep an eye on. There's more like Jake Myers. Looks like his calf is really messed up, so keep an eye on that one, folks. He could be down for the count for a bit, and there's much more coming into the All-Star break here, but we'll keep you up to date. And for now, Bloom boards, my friend. Let's get to it. First half Bloom board action.
All right, so here's the deal with these Bloom boards. I just posted the catcher one on the YouTube live stream for you all. What we're going to do here is just kind of go position by position for the first half. We're going to look at preseason ADP from the NFBC. I believe these are main events. So these are 15 teamers, but this was, the end of draft season ADP. What we've got for each position, I'm showing the top 30 by ADP, top 15 on the left, next 15 on the right. And then color coded in green for good, red for bad is the year-to-date rank from the Fangraphs Player Rater for 5x5 leagues, both overall among hitters and pitchers, and then among position as well. So it's just a nice snapshot to kind of just go down 1 through 15 on the left, 15 through 30 on the right, see where we were all drafting these fools back in late March and see how wrong or right we were by looking at where they rank currently. These, given the 1 day delay in our pod this week, these rankings from the Fangraphs Player Rater are a day old, but forgive me, I did not redo everything for one day.
Yeah, it was my fault, so don't get mad at Ryan if things are off a slight bit.
Shoot your cannons down in California here.
Yeah, just watch out for wildfire season, folks. All right, so what I'm going to go with first here is first glance. Just looking at this board, I remember in the preseason we kept saying you need to get one of the top guys for sure, and hopefully get your second one in like the next 20, give or take. That was kind of our rough game plan.
Yep.
Looking at the positional ranks, that's chucking out so far, because the deeper you got into this draft, like after pick, let's just say 250, there's only one guy in the top 20, and that's Hunter Goodman. Like it's not even rare steak red. It's still mooing. Like it's bad down the road on this one. So it did pay off to go early. Now you didn't have to go with William, and I think a lot of that's the hand injury. Nothing we could do, because he's still playing great. He's still the 10th best catcher, and he has no power at all. That shows you how good he actually is, in my opinion. But as a whole, and I'll let it go to you before we start talking players, is it did pay off to go early, at least as of now. Things can change. Like I'd put money on Yainer Diaz being higher than 12th by the end of the season, but it paid to go early.
And that's what I was going to add too. Like we're not going to talk about every individual player or whatever. Like Adley Rutschman is the true bust. And it's not just because of injury. Like Adley Rutschman has legitimately been bad, but I agree as a whole, like you probably aren't happy with William Contreras either, but like you said, Bubba, with the hand, how could you have process wise, how could you have predicted that early on in the season? But yes, I agree. Like basically if you went early at catcher, you're probably at least happy, unless you took Adley, you're pretty happy with what you've done. And even the guys in the top 5 who haven't returned that value, Yainer Diaz and Salvi Perez, who double donged this evening, like I still think there's big second halves for those two guys as well. So obviously Cal Raleigh is like, he's been the cheat code at the position, and a league winner is not a thing in fantasy baseball, in my opinion, but there are a lot of teams near the top of the standings with Cal Raleigh at catcher. He's just been so like the number 2 overall player in fantasy behind Aaron Judge. To get that from catcher, especially in 2 catcher leagues at the 96 ADP for Cal Raleigh, like that's such a leg up. But look at my guy, Will Smith, number 2. Was going to go there, but that just popped out to me, top 30 overall. But no, if you in general, if you went early at catcher, like kind of what we were saying, I believe in preseason it was like the Kyber Ruiz cliff at 200. You want to get your catcher.
That's been a hell of a cliff so far.
That turned out to be, that cliff was one position too early. Like I thought Kyber Ruiz would be like at the top of the Grand Canyon looking down, taking in the view. Instead, he's at the bottom getting eaten by a rattlesnake. But no, outside of that, like in general, the early catcher has kind of worked out there.
Yeah, I can just to highlight, I feel like Wilson Contreras, 4th overall at the position. That was the name that many of us were very high on for the first base catcher eligibility. It's turned out to be phenomenal. He's been great, even with a couple boo-boos like he gets from hit by pitches. So that's been not bad. Langoliers missed time and still's 14th. Like he could have a monster second half in that ballpark.
Yep.
Well, Hoppy's slumping. Austin Wells has been great. But looking at Ivan Herrera, he's overachieved and he's been hurt twice. He's been on the IL twice and he's still 8th at the position. That's how good he is. That's why when I was debating what to do when he got hurt, I've just been living with a 0, and I've actually improved in my standings to my point. And he's coming back next week. That makes me feel warm and fuzzy. And then you got Alejandro Kirk, who was picked at 250. He's 6th. Another guy, no power really, but he's doing the things we've been wanting from him for a long time. And then Hunter Goodwin's just been beast mode in Colorado. So those are kind of your late ones. It's not bad from 151 to 320. It's a big gap, but you have 4 of the top 8 catchers came in that range. Now you have 2, 4, 6, 8 catchers that are like 22nd or worst. So you had to navigate that minefield, but some pretty good stuff there.
Yeah. And Goodman, Cal Raleigh's the MVP at the position in the first half, but Goodman has not been far behind given the 322 ADP. I did not see this coming from Alejandro Kirk, by the way. And he's one of those like batting average guys. Again, this is a Fangraphs Player Rater, so it's I don't want to get an evaluation discussion, but like, I don't know how much they value batting average versus other systems or whatever, but still Alejandro Kirk's been someone who I did not think was coming at 250 ADP, and he's been pretty solid.
I just the last thing I'll say is I know like some of the targets we had was like we both were skipping on William. You kind of had some Adley love, but it was like most of us were starting with like Wilson and going that direction down. I know Hoppy was a big one for me. Austin Wells I liked a lot. I did like Kyber. That one stings.
I did,
have a lot.
He was my most rostered catcher. It's that hurts. Got nothing.
Yeah, but as a whole, like we like to talk about everything we do wrong way more than we do right. For the most part, we were on track on this position, which feels kind of good, all things considered. That doesn't mean anything, no. But at least we were in the ballpark on this one because that back half of catchers never looked appealing at all. You did not want to be stuck there. So,
and then a couple good say,
real quick,
go ahead.
I'll say one more thing. Yeah. I will say, before Miguel Amaya got hurt, he was much higher up this list. Right now, ADP is 346. He's 28th at the position. He's been hurt for a month. I would like to think he was closer to like 15th at the position, maybe higher. Like he was playing really well.
He was in terms of like fab pickups. The Goose. I'm trying to pull up where he's at in the player rater, Agustin Ramirez. I don't know if he totally pops just because he hasn't played.
He doesn't hit for average
much, but no, he is. Apologies, he's number 5 overall catcher. Agustin Ramirez.
Didn't I say he would be a locked-in catcher 1 if he played enough? And I got so much flack for that. Just gonna throw that out there.
I don't know if you got much flack for that, but
there was flack out there on the streets.
I don't see your flack on the streets. I rise above such things, but that has looked quite good. I did not realize Agustin Ramirez number 5 catcher. Another big one, just to me out of nowhere, and I know you didn't call this one. Carlos Narvaez, Boston.
Yeah, no.
Number 11. That's been really solid. 276 batting average. I'm just trying to list guys who were not drafted among the top 30. Dylan Dingler, another one, 16th overall at catcher. 263, hitting pretty well.
Which has been quietly good because I remember writing up Dingler as a guy like if he got playing time, he'd be great, but I had nothing to do with him in draft season because Jake Rogers was going to take the job. Jake Rogers got hurt. Dingler took over, and it's been a thing of beauty since then. So that's a good shout as well. Other than that, nothing too crazy. But a couple nice fab pickups there with the Goose. Carson Kelly struggled, even though he struggled so much of late, he's still 10th on the list, which is crazy to think about. But you can mix and match and get away with it for sure.
I also feel like Carson Kelly, I mean, he's hitting 265, 11 homers. I almost feel like that's almost kind of the start. Like catcher's been pretty top heavy so far in the first half. But yeah, fair enough. If you took Carson Kelly, you were very happy there for quite a bit.
For sure. All right. You want to talk you got first base ready to rock and roll?
I got them all. I just gotta
to load them up. Catchers matter. We start with catchers as usual, and it turned out to be pretty good position so far. Where let's see what first base has to offer, Ryan.
All right, first base again. Just kind of macro level at this. It's interesting for me just thinking back to draft season. We could all kind of debate the order of which these top 3 went, but there was a very clear top 3. I think tier with this. That in terms of ADP that we're looking at, Freddie Freeman was 38th. And Matt Olson was 39. But for most of draft season like that Freddie Freeman thing was after the injuries. For the most part, it was Freddie, Bryce, and Vlad Jr. going in those top 3 in some type of order. And that's been a pretty meh return so far. Like Vlad's 8th at the position and he's in position to rise with a big second half. So I get that. Bryce Harper, injury-wise, I get it. And then Freddie Freeman, despite the hot start, has done absolutely nothing. I posted in the Discord earlier today, 1 home run, 7 RBI, like a hitting 200 over the last month. So I think in general, you're pretty disappointed with maybe outside of Vlad, but still Vlad's 78th overall. You took him at 12 ADP. Like, I don't know if that's that great. So like for as strong as at least we thought and the market felt these first 3 top first basemen were, it hasn't been that great for that group this year.
I will say it's like this is one of those positions also where it was, okay, don't pay a premium. Go get your shortstops, go get your SP1, go get a 5 category out, whatever the conversation was in those first 3 or 4 rounds. We had that pocket, and the pocket has not panned out. So, like, Josh Naylor's the second first baseman. That's where the pocket kind of began. So he's been good, but still 42nd overall, which at ADP 105 plays. Christian Walker starting to get going, but still 29th in position. Not
Slow.
great.
Yep.
Jake Berger, we know he spent time in the minors. He's kind of getting it going, but still 37th. Tristan Costas is done for the season. Vinny P quietly putting, maybe this is a testament to not how good the position's not, if that makes sense. Yeah. He's 13th. Vinny P's been good. He's hitting for average, but you know what I mean. Alec Boehm, Paul Goldschmidt. This pocket right here has really, if you waited, it hasn't been as fruitful as we thought it might be.
Agreed. And actually the most fruitful pocket was the group where I was the most off on, to be honest. It was the Matt Olson, Pete Alonso, even kind of like Cody Bellinger before the season, but there's a couple catchers mixed in there. But like that's been, especially Pete Alonso, man. It's been awfully good, number one at the position right now. So it at least in the first half turns out that kind of late 100, that group, or that late kind of 50 to 100, that group's been really solid. And the more we waited, some of those targets that we both like, Berger, Walker, has not panned out. And Goldschmidt, even though he looks good right now, I don't know about that second half for him. This is trending downwards.
Fall off. It feels like, it's already going the wrong direction on that one.
So a couple breakouts I do want to mention, and Michael C posted this in the YouTube. I did not realize how kind of sneaky good Yandy Diaz has been. ADP of 183, your 16th first baseman, 14th maybe off the board if you discount 2 of the catchers that qualify at first as well. But to be number 7 overall at first base for Yandy Diaz, that has been very strong. And 2 Rays on this list. I want to throw out Jonathan Aranda too, way at the bottom of this, number 30 first baseman off the board. We kind of bagged him a couple weeks ago in terms of his second half outlook, and jury's still out, but Jonathan Aranda has been
All-star.
He's been awesome. 81 overall at a 325 ADP. You take that all day.
Now, to be fair, and this is what we bagged him for, the reason he's rated so high, he's hitting 327 on
exactly.
the year.
Yes. Yeah. This is all, these rankings I'm referencing are all what you have done so far this season, and not what you are projected to do in the second half. But that's the exercise we're doing.
But yeah, no, for sure. I just wanted to bring that up to the listeners. Like, if they missed that episode, the reason we bagged him is we don't think he's hitting 327. He has the 11 home runs, but only a couple of late. Those seem like they came early. Where Yanni's got 14 homers, like a 288, I think that's like sustainable for him. Like, he could power through that. Now with the Rays, they're going to play a lot of road games in the second half, so we'll see how they play outside of that bandbox. But yes, 2 Rays on the board inside the top 9, which is huge. Michael Busch, dude.
Yes.
Third at the position, 46th overall. Like, I'd love to see what this number was before his last week in Wrigley, where he just went bonkers on Miles Mikolas and company. But regardless, he's played so well leading up to that he's not even platooning with Justin Turner anymore. Like, he's just got the job finally, and that's a testament to how good he's playing. And now he pops on this board to back it up even more.
Yeah. Say you don't have much Michael Busch without saying you don't have much Michael Busch. I did not realize Michael Busch was this good. And yeah, like, you're right. Maybe because he did sneak up on us with this last surge, but man, hitting 297 with 18 home runs, your number 3 first baseman at an ADP of 266. That is an absolute windfall. It's interesting, and Michael points this out in the chat as well, the kind of maybe the dichotomy between Michael Busch and Tyler Soderstrom, who went back to back this preseason at 266 and 262 ADPs respectively. Soderstrom has been number 12 at first base this season, very much front loaded in terms of that production. Soderstrom looked like he was going to hit 50 bombs and has slowed down quite a bit.
They started playing him in the outfield, and he forgot how to hit a baseball now. So it almost coincides to the date where that took place. It's not good, folks. A couple other parts I will mention here is if you go late for like corner infield targets, I've always been a Nathaniel Lowe fan. He's doing just right. 16th at the position, 148 overall. Like, you'll take that at 270 all day at a CI, especially in a 15. And then Burleson is starting to get going. He's up to 18th now. Like, again, a couple weeks ago, a month ago, he's probably outside the top 30. It was so bad. Now he's playing every single day, and he's starting to become Barrelson once again. So he's another guy that's probably going to finish much higher on this list as well.
Starting to become barrel season indeed. A couple other names that are not on this list that were drafted outside the top 30 at first base. Got to throw out Torque. Spencer Torkelson is, per Fangraphs, the number 9 first baseman so far, hitting .237 with 21 home runs. This is the Spencer Torkelson that we kind of thought we were getting a couple years ago. When he went on that second half, just power binge. Probably, the batting average wasn't going to be there, but the power was. And from the depths that, I remember us talking when the Tigers signed Gleyber Torres this offseason, Keith Colt moving to first base. It's like Torkelson is done. Basically just worked his way back up with an awesome spring, worked his way back into the regular first base job, and has been pretty, I don't want to say nails, because a .237 batting average, could be better, but like that's a really good pick from where you got Torque.
It was a great pick from where you got Torque, and you mentioned Gleyber and Colt Keith, and they're all hitting. Like, they found a way for them all to play. Shocker, if you hit well, we will play you, and they're all producing. So it almost didn't matter where you went in this one. It's panning out for you at that position. The next surprise, I guess, in the position, Ryan, I'll let you go ahead with this one.
Are you gonna get those Tide Pods, throw it in the washer. Gavin Sheets, man. Gavin Sheets. Homer tonight. So this is only going to get better. But Gavin Sheets, the number 17. I guess maybe I'm overselling a little bit. 17th overall first base.
No, you're not. Go at it, man.
I mean, that's not that great. Gavin Sheets hitting .262, 13 homers, but whatever. He started the clean the sheets movement, which means more than any of his first half stats could ever mean to our fantasy teams. Brought us the joy of clean the sheets. So no, excellent start for Gavin Sheets. He's cooled a little bit, but still like what he's doing. And again, homer tonight. So that's now 14 homers, hitting over .260, first base outfield eligible from basically a free agent guy who you thought was maybe a streamer. That's been a nice surprise.
And I feel like we're on a first name basis now. So congratulations to Gavin and his wife as they're expecting their child during the All-Star break. So great planning. All things good. That way he won't really affect our fantasy teams. So well done on that one, and clean those sheets once again. Anybody else you have here? Your boy who's All-Star O'Hearn is on the list. That's another guy that's
good year.
Yeah, he's 18th. I want to highlight one because he's kind of been poo-pooed so many times. But Nolan Shenwell.
Yeah, I know. Here we go.
He can tell he's 20th at the position.
Yes. That's not that great, though, man. 20th.
I know it's a combination. This is how bad the position is. But he's still, for his ADP of 309, he's returning value for you. So I do want to highlight, though, in a short period of time, Nick Kurtz is already 28th on the board.
Yeah. Nick Kurtz is 28th in 213 plate appearances, which I thought would be higher. 250.
I thought he'd be near the goose range.
250 batting average, 14 home runs. That seems low, especially when you when you add on whoever you were playing before you had Nick Kurtz. Yeah. But yeah, wise to mention that name. I thought he'd be higher on this list.
All right, before we move to second base, I'm going to start doing it for each board because we have listener questions surrounding it. So we're just going to knock them out now while they're on the screen. Give me one player you see rising on this board and one falling on this board.
Falling, I will say Paul Goldschmidt.
That's
falling from 14th at the position right now, which right now looks like a value. Rising, I will say, I'll say two. I won't say two of them, so I take one, but I'll say Christian Walker in the second half. Christian Walker was the 10th first baseman off the board, currently 29th, but I think second half will be good for him.
Yeah, Goldie is the faller for sure because I think it's between playing time, getting old, and we're already seeing it happening. That's the giveaway there. I want to say two as well. Who was your second one? Because I want to see if we share this one. Is it Berger?
Yeah, Bubba Berger.
Yeah. So that's fair. We'll share Berger. The other one I was going to mention though, and we've seen it kind of get going here. I think now that he's getting healthy, is Spencer Steer, ADP of 212. He's 21st in the position. and he had that shoulder injury. It kept him out pretty much all spring. He even started the season on the IL, but he's starting to look healthy out there. And he's a guy in that ballpark that I could see jumping up and then giving some good fantasy goodness in the second half of the season.
Who'd you take rest of season, since they are both on the same team and both basically the same overall and at the position in Tampa? Yandy Diaz or Jonathan Aranda?
I'll take the Mr. Diaz on that one.
I think so too.
Yeah, I'll take Diaz because at worst, I think he can still hit 288 the whole way. I think if Aranda finishes the season over 300, I think he's had a hell of a year.
Yeah. He can mash, though, man.
Yeah, but he's got 11 home runs. Like, define mash.
Too many ground balls. No, he hits the ball hard.
He's got the Josh Bell treatment.
On the ground. Yeah.
The
Vladdy.
He's going Vinny Pascantino. I guess is their... Yeah, Vladdy's one of those that's, like, perplexing because we were talking about that in the Discord, like how good Toronto's been, and Vlad's still not even hitting
without, right.
Yeah, it's freaking nuts. It's nuts what they're doing.
Vlad is just to kind of 12 home runs for Vlad, which you need more there. The RBI have been there. The runs have been there. Kind of. It's 46 RBI. So maybe you want more from that too, but 280 batting average too. You kind of want that closer to 300 if you're paying that first round tax on Vlad.
Yeah, he's got the skills to be like a perennial 40 home run guy. It's just crazy to see it take place year in and year out.
Would you add, and just because I love hating myself, would you say Freddie Freeman is a faller at 11th at first base? Like, do you think he sustains that? Like, is he roughly a top 10 first baseman the rest of the way? Freddie.
I think you know my answer, Ryan, but no.
You don't think he's a top 10 first baseman?
He's broken, like legit broken.
I'm not gonna argue.
We've talked about it so many times. It hurts watching. Like, he stole a bag the other night, and I had to ask, did the catcher fall over? Like, what took place? Because the way Freeman moves, it is so bad. It's not good at all.
I don't love it. It was looking good. It was looking very good through April, and then
which is crazy because he was already hurt apparently, but then he slipped in the shower and just everything went downhill from there.
It happens. Schlit happens.
Schlit happens, folks. Schlit happens. All right, let's go second base on this one, and this is a board that couple top heavy, but man, oh man, we talked about waiting at second base, Ryan, and yes,
dude,
yes. This was a position that if you waited, you are still sitting pretty. Like, some guys obviously could tell Altuve, Jazzy Jazz, awesome. If you waited though, more often than not, you're doing just fine.
Even Jazzy Jazz, I don't know. It's been missed time more than anything else. I think the biggest, like, if I have one sentence to say on second base, it's that Brandon Lau is your top second baseman through the first half, and he's not even a top 50 overall player. Like, that is how bad second base, has been. That like, I think that encapsulates it perfectly.
Like Michael C. encapsulates it. Do we have to second base?
We do.
Yes, we do.
That's why they pay us the big bucks, is to sift through this riffraff. But no, I did. Like, did you realize? I didn't even know Michael Garcia was number 2. Again, this is all per Fangraphs Player Rater 5x5. But like, Brandon Lau is their number 1. I did not know that.
Lau's crushing the baseball, like home run wise, and the biggest thing for him is he has actually played all season.
Yeah.
That's subject to change pretty soon, but dude's got 19 and hitting 272.
Yeah,
which
is I obviously don't have much Brandon Lau, but yeah, 19 homers, 272. I guess. Jeez.
Yeah, but I think Mikel changed. It was that 1 week where he stole like 6 bags or whatever it was. Now he's got 18 bags on the year, and we're seeing him start to get clicking. And we've always said a healthy Mikel hits for average, steals a ton of bags. We think he's got more power than he does. Like, skills are there that I think he was this second best. No, but also maybe this says a lot about the position, as you mentioned earlier.
Agreed. And I do think, like, and again, I'm not going to toot our own horn here. Like, we were way off on Luis Rengifo, though we weren't super high. Like, the price was pretty high on Rengifo, but we were preaching to wait at second base. And if you did wait at second base, it at least put you in position. Like, these are all the second basemen post 200 ADP. Luis Arias, who's number 15 at second base right now, not bad. Nico Horner, 6th at second base. Brandon Lau. Jackson Holiday, I did not realize was a top 15 second
Once
baseman.
he started swinging it and like hitting towards the top of the order every day, things shifted for him.
Michael Garcia has been number 2. Gleyber Torres has been number 7 at a 236 ADP, and then there's Brendan Donovan again, top 10 second baseman at an ADP of 261. So waiting on second base, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of your top 10 at second base were picked between 200 and 260. That has so far been proven to be a pretty fruitful pocket.
Yeah, I remember on this position, I said, okay, you wait. My first guy off the board would be Luis Garcia Jr. He's 11th at the position, so hasn't been great, not killing you. He's 149th overall, so he's almost equal to his ADP. So it's not like he's technically not even producing where you picked him, but I digress. But we didn't like most of these guys. Like, you liked Jimenez. We know where that's gone. But we go down this list. We didn't like most of second base. It's so bad. Such a bad position. I remember Nico Horner, once they started saying, okay, he's going to miss the Japan series, but be ready for opening day. I started peppering him in drafts. Like, that was one I was very excited about. So that's kind of been nice. But I wrote off Gleyber Torres. I said it was so stupid to bet on yourself in Detroit. And I wrote off Brendan Donovan because I think he's garbage. And I was completely wrong on both of them. So, yes, you got that going for you.
One other thing that I'll just, again, so the Brandon Lau fact to me at least is wild that he's number 1, but Brendan Donovan. So I think this is another, Brendan Donovan is number 9 second baseman. Brendan Donovan is the number, oh wait, never mind. I always get him mixed up with Alec Burleson. Continue on. The other,
wondering where you're going with that one, but
I'm notorious for mixing up 2 players, and Brendan Donovan, Alec Burleson are, anyway. One other quick name I'll throw out that I certainly was like, Bryce Terang. Hell of a season. Fourth at second base, 66 overall. As Dr. Doom says, Terang was such a good pick. I did not see that coming. I thought this was a one-trick pony who, I don't know if playing time was an issue because his glove is so good, but did not see this coming from Bryce Terang.
Yeah, we kept saying he's like stolen base only to your one-trick pony comment, but 280 with 56 runs. Like, if he gets you that, he's throwing in 5 homers. Like, it's not nothing. So if he can run, score those kind of runs and hit for 280, that'll play. Because like Nico Horner's hitting 287, so slightly better, but 3 homers, 16 steals, 51 runs. So I guess that's why Nico's only a couple spots behind Terang. But I think people could have said they could have foresaw Nico doing that. Most all of us said Terang's not producing at that ADP at all. Yeah, definitely did.
Definitely hurts to see Terang and Andres Jimenez basically the same ADP. And I was taking Andres Jimenez not 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And my leagues reflect it.
You weren't alone on that, though. We'll throw out some guys that are surprising on this list. He's eligible at 4 positions, so we might talk about him again. But Zach McKinstry, another Detroit Tiger, shocker. 7 homers, 13 steals, hitting 283. We talked about him on Fab lately. So he's been quite the surprise at the position, if you want to go there. But I'm going to let you talk about the bus driver. He's been pretty good. Right now he's 13th at the
Where's
position.
He at? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's Otto Lopez. Good call. Number 13 right now, hitting 249, 9 homers, 9 steals. You like that. And doing it, I don't want to say while hurt, but he missed time in the first half too. So Otto Lopez, for as much as I'm bagging some of my preseason picks, Otto Lopez was a very nice hit for me later on. I do have a ton of Otto Lopez. The bus driver has been pretty sweet from someone. Otto Lopez was like, if you're desperate for a middle infielder type of pick late in drafts, and he's been awesome. I just wish he would be healthy for the entire first half because he'd be even higher. But I think in terms of second half outlook, a lot of what Otto Lopez is doing right now looks to me pretty legit.
And it's just crazy. Like, I'm not going to mention like Caballeros here, but if you just inside the top 20, there aren't a ton of long shots like we've seen in other positions. It's just ugly all around. That's what it comes down to. They're pretty much all on this board. They were all drafted, but still not producing to the way you'd want them to produce.
For as much as I lauded, Otto Lopez, it is a 250 batting average, 9 homers, 9. Like, that's nothing.
But
crazy.
That plays at that position.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just another kind of data point for just the brutality that is second base.
I want to highlight something we talked about recently, like Ozzy Albies, 30th position. picked 8. He's fourth off the board.
And you've
30.
played him every day. Maybe you start benching Ozzy Albies last couple of weeks or whatever, but like that has been in your lineup all the time, which is like technically like Jordan Westberg is below
but he's
Ozzy Albies, but he's been hurt. Like like Westberg has so far been the better pick.
Yeah, I agree. I do want to highlight some of the pluses though. Simeon's starting to get going. He's up to 18th at the position, so that's a good one there. Slick Willie is actually 20th, so he hasn't been a complete bust, which is good to see. Anything else, I guess, surprising or positive on this one?
Now I'll flip the question back to you for this one. Rise or faller in the second half for second base. Can they all be fallers?
The way they're playing so far, probably. I think what I'm going to go with, and it's a guy I liked in the preseason. Don't have a ton of redraft shares because I dropped him a while ago, but it's starting to get it going, is Colt Keith. He's actually showing the skills at the plate. He's showing the quality of contact. He's the strikeouts are reasonable. Like he's doing the things you want to see. He's 25th at the position, and that's a guy I could see going up. I also like Michael C's in the chat there, but I'll see who's your riser.
My riser will be, I will say Jackson Holiday. You just never know when it's gonna like, and it's kind of weird to say a riser from someone who's already risen, I guess, from his preseason ADP, but I just think at any time this could pop off for Jackson Holiday and settling in the top of that order. I like that.
I like it as well. Who do you have falling at the position? I guess I'll throw it back. Or I guess you asked me, so I'll answer first. Can Christopher Morel fall even? Like he might be DFA'd pretty soon.
I mean, he is. My guy has fallen.
He's not even playing anymore. So I guess that's not fair. That's not fair. I'll leave that one. I'll leave that one alone. Don't beat the man while he's already down.
Yeah, he's already dead, Bubba.
Yeah, sorry. It's like poking that. Is he alive? Yeah. No. Like the easy answer for me is Brandon Lau. He's not going to be first all season, but that's kind of probably the easy way out. I'll go with.
What about Glaber? You're not going Glaber?
I actually I like what I'm seeing with Glaber, honestly. As bad as the position is, I think he can hang. I'm going to go with Luis Ariz just because once again, it's such dependent on batting average. He's doing nothing else in that lineup. So I'm going to go with Luis Ariz dropping down more.
All right. I will stick to my preseason guns and say Bryce Terang. I think I don't know. I think what we saw from Terang in terms of the early power boost, I don't know. It's only been 5 homers for him, but I don't know if he hits a few more home runs all season. And I just don't know if the batting average sticks. Could be wrong again, but I think Bryce Terang's over his head from a batting average standpoint. Once that falls back, you wonder about the stolen bases. And Bryce Terang still like 17 for, he's been thrown out 7 times, 17 for 24 on the base pass. Like that's not the best conversion percentage there.
Bright side is glass half full. They're letting him run wild.
They are. Oh yeah. Agreed.
Go get him. That's where I wish Willie Adames was doing, but apparently it was a Milwaukee Brewers thing. So we've got that answer in the first half of the season. Speaking of Willie Adames, Ryan, let's head to shortstop. And we'll wrap it up with shortstop tonight, and we'll do the rest next week. But let's head to shortstop where we talked about it in draft season. You know, there was 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 shortstop drafted in the top 52. We were all saying like it makes sense because of what they bring to the table. What are you seeing when you look at this board for the shortstop position? Because I think if you drafted one of the top 9, probably feeling pretty good about things.
Yeah, I think so. Like yeah, let's dive deeper a little bit into that top 9 because we did talk about that a lot in the preseason. Was like, yes, shortstop is deep. There are a lot of good names, but they also all get picked very early in drafts, so it's not as deep as you think. So if you went with those top 9, you're happy with Witt, you're happy with Ellie. Like they are 2 and 1 at the position, respectively. Gunnar Henderson, man, ADP of 12, but he was basically a top 5 pick for much of draft season. This was, again, main event ADP where Gunnar had that oblique and he did miss. Can't even remember. He missed the start of the season, right, with the oblique, or did he make opening day?
I'm pretty sure
it doesn't really matter. He hasn't been good either way.
No, he hasn't been good at all.
So like 19th of the position, you're not happy with that. This one's going to pain me because we have a beer bet on the line on this one. Francisco Lindor was your 4th shortstop off the board.
Who is he against?
He's 5th overall. He is against Mookie Betts.
Ooh, that's a gap. That's a gap.
It's not a crazy gap. Mookie's 101 overall. Frank Lindor's 48. So there's hope, but you're I don't want to say you're not like Mookie hasn't been a bust, but you're not exactly happy with what Mookie's done. 101 overall. Trey Turner's been awesome. Like Trey Turner,
back, baby. He's back.
He's back. I've got a lot of Trey Turner that's been very good, and Trey Turner was going like quite a bit later. Like some of this Mookie Betts ADP at 19. That's when he lost 20 pounds or whatever at the end of spring training, missed the Tokyo series. So, I mean, Mookie Betts was basically a borderline first rounder for much of draft season. Then you had Trey Turner almost a round later, and he's been great. I don't know if you're thrilled with O'Neal Cruz, 11th at shortstop, and he was picked 33rd overall.
I don't think O'Neal Cruz is thrilled with baseball right
now. I don't think O'Neal Cruz is. My guy's ready for the All-Star break. Is he an All-Star?
Home run derby. He's in the home run derby.
Maybe that'll teach him to lift the ball. I don't know. And then last but not least, so you got CJ Abrams. We got to give him a shout. He's been good. Anytime you're picked top 50 and you basically return top 50 value, you take that all day. And then the guy who was our biggest fade at the position to round out this kind of group of top 9 was Corey Seager, and he's doing Corey Seager things, which is it's not a good thing.
Yeah, he's hitting when on the field. He's just not on the field enough. That's why he's 30th at the position, and that's always been our concern with Corey Seager. But yeah, it's been great. Like, it's crazy to think that Bobby Witt is second at the position, and Bobby Witt has 13 home runs. You're expecting him to do so much more, but he's got the 24 steals, hitting 295.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing everything else you want from him. He's just not hitting for the power that you drafted him second. Like, you drafted him second to be a 30-30 guy with 40-40 upside. And it might be more like he's on pace for more like a 25-40 type situation, which is still very good. Very, very good.
Well, I think the other thing with Witt too is your alternatives were Ohtani and Judge, right? And Ohtani and Judge are, along with Cal Raleigh, like way up there. So it's a little bit like, Witt hasn't been that bad, but if you would have just taken Aaron Judge instead, who was going a pick later, like that, it shouldn't sting like that, but that's probably why it stings more than we think.
Yeah, and Ellie's impressive because, like, I know I was worried about drafting Ellie, and he continues to produce. Love Lindor, so on and so forth, and CJ Abrams, tons of CJ Abrams shares if I didn't get Lindor. So pretty pumped on that. But let's move to the next one. Bo Bichette, Ryan, is 15th at the position. That is looking pretty good for you.
Where's Mason?
He's at 26th.
Ooh.
They also have a gap in ADP of almost 70 picks. So
it's okay. It's okay. Just I'm losing my bets Lindor beer bet, but looking pretty good at Mason Wynn versus Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette, nice turnaround. Bo Bichette was pretty polarizing, and hasn't. I don't know. You want to see more speed. You always want to see more. He's basically return value, but you at 114 through the first half of the season and picked at 109, but you would take that if you drafted Bo Bichette.
For sure. Yeah, it's been very, very good. I was very, very wrong on Bichette. Willie Adames at 22. The last 3 or 4 weeks, I actually wrote him up for an article a couple days ago, looking a lot better. Even the strikeout rates dropped a ton. I saw some clips this morning from Tuesday night's game in San Francisco. He had 2 balls on the warning track that are probably out in any other ballpark, but he got AT&T'd. So I think Willie's got a big second half ahead. That might be a precursor to an answer I have for you a little later. Jeremy Pena, 4th at the position, 45th overall, and now has that injury, which really sucks. He's hit by pitches, man. It's getting crazy right now. But Jeremy Pena has been so good. He's been in that pocket where if you waited at shortstop that we talked about, we talked about him, Swanson, Mason Wynn. Jeremy Pena has been amazing.
He's been absolutely incredible. This is kind of the the benefit of taking someone who we think is, and he is, a compiler. But I think that is a skill, getting out there playing every single day. Ironic that he's now on the IL with the hit by pitch, but obviously a fluky thing. But you just take someone who compiles, who plays every day, is young and can run into a heater. Like, this is the kind of thing that can happen for someone like Jeremy Pena. So definitely sucks that he's hurt. He's probably a pretty obvious faller pick, but that's too cheap of us to do it. Great pick if you took Jeremy Pena. And it's especially interesting looking at Pena versus exact same ADP of Anthony Volpe. And I'll throw Xavier Edwards in there as well at 140. Those two guys are outside the top 20 at the position. Jeremy Pena, top 4. So again, we talk about this all the time on our preseason previews. Is like, you could strategize all you want. You can talk roster construction. That stuff does matter. But if you make the right or wrong pick at some of these guys who are right next to each other at ADP, that matters so much more.
Yeah, and it is a part of the roster construction, because that's, you're targeting a shortstop at that point. So yes, it does match, but it is a big thing. And the Volpe stuff is amazing, because I was talking to Ben on Monday that I've seen a bunch of Volpe slander on Twitter, and I asked the Yankees fan, and oh yeah, there's a lot of displeasure with Anthony Volpe. So we'll see where that one keeps going. Dansby Swanson, 14th at the position. I have a ton of Dansby. I was targeting this region, and Mason Wynn's ADP went so high, it turned into either Pena or Dansby on all my teams, pretty much, if I waited, or at least with my middle infielder, because I probably had Francisco Lindor already. So yeah, tons of Dansby. He's been great, and I think he could be even better in the second half, honestly.
Another name I want to throw out, and this is pretty fascinating to me, but Zach Neto. It's kind of like we preach, do not draft injured players. There's going to be enough injuries. And I think generally that's a good strategy, especially with pitchers. But like, Zach Neto has proven that wrong. If you took the Zach Neto discount, and I took plenty of Zach Neto outside the top 200, ADP settled at 222. Zach Neto, even with the missed time, I think he ended up missing 3 weeks with the shoulder. Top 100 player, number 10 at the position. That has been, if you gambled on that injury rehab risk, you've been handsomely rewarded with Zach Neto. He looks awesome.
He does, and I did not gamble, and it sucks severely. Now we'll see how the second half goes with the shoulder looking like garbage already. Like, actually watching the Angels last night or the night before, Rengifo cut off Neto on a ground ball, and the announcer says most of the time, the announcers go, most of the time you want your shortstop fielding that, but we could probably limit Neto's throws. It's not the worst thing we can do. And I was like, oof. If they're announcing that, like, that's not giving you the warm and cuddlies on that one.
Maybe move our guy over to second base for the second half. Get him some of that sweet second short eligibility or something. But yeah,
I want to highlight Ceddanne Rafaela, who's up to 13th at the position, 103 overall. Very impressive, because he's primarily an outfielder now, so you're getting that shortstop eligibility to go with it. But we're seeing a ball player in Rafaela who's hitting 264, 12 homers, 11 steals, doing a little bit of everything out there, 52 runs scored as well, on a Red Sox team that's starting to heat up again. So maybe they get a big second half in there now that the Devers drama's gone. They might make a couple more trades. So seeing Ceddanne Rafaela, who I think we both said was going too high in drafts, at least I know I did, he's returning a ton of value right now, looking really good at the position.
A really nice growth year for Rafaela. Cut the K rate from 26 down to 20, while also nearly doubling his barrel rate. That's super impressive to do in your age 24 season. Strike out less while also making harder contact, and he's 11 for 13 on stolen bases. So, a very nice growth year for Ceddanne Rafaela, who I've very few of. I was probably jumping and taking Dansby Swanson over Rafaela, but that's also worked out too. So whatever.
The other two late ones, Trevor Story, 9th at the position. He has like the most home runs out of any shortstop in baseball, I believe I saw the other day, which is pretty impressive. And he continues to get better and better. And then you have Jacob Wilson, who's 8th at the position, the batting average machine with more pop than we thought, but he's also hurt right now. But two guys that if you took really, like, one Story at 247, Wilson at 317, very impressive.
Yeah, and just interesting that they're right next to each other, 8 and 9, yet have totally opposite profiles, right? Jacob Wilson's your guy with elite batting average, no category juice, and Trevor Story's the other way around. Though Trevor Story is hitting 250. I think I'd take that preseason if you would have told me Trevor Story's hitting 250. And then obviously you pair the 15 homers, 14 steals. Did not. I like Trevor Story entering the season, have a good amount of them, but did not expect this and could get hurt again at any time. But been a great year for Trevor Story and trending in the right direction the way he's been hitting lately. He's been a beast.
And let me clarify something. He has the most home runs for any American League shortstop. Let me clarify that real quick before pitchforks come out on that one.
Yeah, so it's Ellie at 18, Lindor at 18, O'Neill Cruz at 16, and then
Trevor Story's got 2 more than Bobby Witt and Zach Neto and Corey Seager at the American League position.
Wow.
What else you got for the good old shortstop position here?
Let's give a little shout out. First half shout out to Geraldo Perdomo, who was number 8 on the Fangraphs Player Rater, picked basically as a reserve player. 430 ADP ish entering the season, 9 home runs, 13 steals for Perdomo, hitting 267. I have no idea where this came from. Like, what the hell was that? Yeah. Like Trevor Story, I could see, like he's done it in the past, whatever. But like, I saw nothing from Geraldo Perdomo.
Honestly, Perdomo's more surprising to me than Jacob Wilson. Yes. At least Wilson, we knew there was a skill set in the minors. Like, he had some expectations. What Perdomo's doing is just baffling. And he keeps doing it. I'm waiting for it just to stop. It's not stopping.
No. Yep. Looks very good right now out in the desert. And then I guess the other guy, maybe entering mascot territory, because we're going to mention him every position, but there's that man again, Zach McKinstry, 16th. One spot behind Mookie Betts. In between, Zach McKinstry's sandwich between Mookie Betts and Gunnar Henderson at 16.
Wow.
At shortstop.
Things you didn't expect to see when you started the season.
Nope.
But, all right, who's your riser and faller in this range?
Faller, I'll say Mason Wynn. I'm just kidding.
No, you're probably not wrong.
Faller, I will say O'Neill Cruz.
Yeah, there's
I think the second half could get rough for him. In terms of want to.
It's very, very fair. My faller, man, I want to say Zach Neto just because I think his arm's going to fall off.
Hey, that's fair.
Yeah, and I love Zach Neto. I think people listen long enough know how many shares I had last year for free. Didn't take them for free this year because I'm an idiot. But I'm going to go. I'm not going to. I'll be nice. Give me Anthony Volpe. He's gone.
Falling even more from his fall. Okay.
Pretty much. Who's your riser?
Riser, I will say. God, it's tough. I'll say. Well, I don't want to take Willy Adames because that's your guy.
It's gonna be Willy Adames for me. Yes, it's Willy Adames. He's gonna rise. It's gonna be great.
I'll take.
You can take Ernie Clement if you want.
Jesus Christ. I'll say Willie Castro, 25th.
Fair.
And Willie Castro's been fine where he's been taken, 229 overall, 238 ADP, nothing great, but I think that playing time's there, and I think Willie Castro will be better in the second half.
Yep, I'm with you there. Keep an eye on Carlos Correa as well. Right now he's healthy, hitting again. It's always been a health thing with Correa. Power and a batting average doesn't do much else, but Twins team is healthy this week for the first time. It feels like in forever, and they're actually putting up runs. So something to monitor if they can stay healthy. But I'm taking Willy Adames for sure at that one. All right, Ryan. We will wrap up our reviews of the first half there. We'll continue them next week. Let's get to the Discord listener questions, which are deep. So let me navigate the minefield here. We'll start with Bobo Beyond. It says, man, second base has been brutal. And third base, if you got that Westberg, Vientos, Bregman group, we will talk third base next week, but that is a very good point on that one.
That is a good point, though. Bregman's coming back Friday,
yes,
I think.
This weekend against the Rays, yes.
So not fair to loop him in, but yeah, Vientos, Vientos is really the one who's been like, yeah, but yeah, we'll talk about third base next Tuesday, and then outfield as well.
Martin Zakulski says, "Is Michael Busch a top 5 first baseman rest of season?" I'm going to say no. That's it's a high bar to pass, but it's playing damn good.
Agreed. I don't think we started the rise or follow thing till we did second base, but I think Michael Busch would be my biggest faller. And I think two things can be true. You could kind of like Michael Busch, but also say he's not going to be a top 5 first baseman.
Yes.
Just a hell of a first half. It's just hard to sustain that.
Yeah, he's third at the position, looking at the deal right now. So it'd be tough to sustain that for sure. Like
printouts. How's that printer doing? Color? Everything's good there?
We're back, okay, baby. And it helped the transitions while you're trying to figure out.
For the viewers, like this is epic. Bubba's got like his glasses on, some papers he's sifting through. This is unbelievable.
I feel like Raj. Expectation for Zach Geloff rest of season. I got a lot of shares of Zach Geloff.
Go ahead. That's your guy. Yeah, I'm punting. That's you.
I think he's
$88.
I think he's like a 15-15 the rest of the way.
Whoa.
I'm kidding. I think it's at least double-digit homers and double-digit steals, hitting 240.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
I'll take the under on all three. But
got his first hit of the season tonight, which not bad for his 5th game of the year. And then I saw right when we started, he had a shot straight to the center fielder. So starting to make loud contact. We'll see where that goes. James Oss says, paying up for the second base tier looks rough. Were we overpaying for what wasn't there, or are these guys underperformers at second base?
That's a good question. Were we overpaying for what wasn't there?
Like Albies, McLean, Westberg, Simeon, Edwards, Edmund, that whole kind of crew.
It turns out we were, because ultimately what was there was the next tier, which was really good with Nico Herner, Lau, Garcia, etc. But I think both things are true. I think those guys have also like vastly underperformed. It wasn't just a second base thing. This is something where I definitely missed on this group for sure.
Yep. Is Tommy Edman a cut, or does Muncie's injury buy him more time? It's a 12-teamer. Whole lot of nothing lately for Edman because he's been hurt, folks. He's been hurt.
Right. But like in a 12-teamer, I think, do you have time to wait for him to maybe get healthy in the second half and go back? I don't know.
Day to day. No, if you have a better replacement, I replace him for sure.
I think in a 15, you're much more stringent and holding, but benching if you can, because Tommy Edman, I mean, I still think Tommy Edman's really good. It's just
I do too. Health, baby, health.
Yeah.
Adam 7 had a riser and faller thing, which we took care of already. B Welch 21. What are the year-to-date rankings based on? Oh, you got that taken care of. Sorry.
Yep.
Dr. Doom. First base seems to be you get what you pay for. At least that is correct.
First base was probably the most, maybe catcher too, most like predictable so far in the first half. Position if you paid up. But in general, you can nitpick certain guys, but in general, if you paid up there, you've been pretty happy.
Yeah, if you went first base, shortstop, and catcher like in your first 3 rounds, you're sitting pretty right about now. Corbin Young says, besides injuries, any hope for Westberg? Can you find anything? Oh, sorry. Any hope for Westberg? I'd say yes.
I do. I don't know. I hope these aren't nagging injuries throughout the entire second half.
They already said the finger's going to bug them all year.
Exactly. Like I don't know. You can be really good, but also be playing hurt, and that nags you down. So that's my only concern, and it's a pretty big one.
Might be the Max Scherzer of hitters these days.
Oh God, it's tough.
Can you find anything optimistic for Ozzie Albies? No.
I mean, yeah, I can, but
he says last I checked, skills looked awful. They do.
But I mean, Ozzie Albies has been good for many, many years, and he's not ancient. So that's the case for Ozzie Albies. Yes, the skills are terrible this year. I'm not going to dispute that, but like you have to think if you're playing the long game here, and we play this game differently, and I'm not saying my way is right. I'm more the kind of the track record, play it out. And I've been burned by it many times, but I think Ozzie Albies has one direction to go, and it's up.
Bobo Beyond, you have a very long question that we will have to attack in the Discord because there's a lot going on there. So we did not ignore you, but just letting you know on that one. Steve Stoughton had a risers and fallers. We took care of that. BP is piggybacking on Sikulski's Michael Bush comment. He says, I traded for Bush early in the season, and that has paid off so well. Basically, he wanted to know about the top 5 thing. We don't think he's there. And then Dr. Doom says, so it's by okay, we got that taken care of as well. Or so it's by ADP. There aren't really any rookies to be talked about on the boards, but who are the rookies who should have an impact or continue to have impacts in the second half? Any yet to debut and who fall off? Maybe best for a different pod. Potentially, yes. But we mentioned like Goose. We mentioned we didn't mention Cags. Cags could get a run, but he's more of an outfielder, but he does have the first base eligibility. Any other guys that immediately stand out to you?
Rookies that could in the second half. Let's well, we may talk about pitchers next week, but
yeah, we should. Yeah,
Bubba Chandler.
Oh God.
I say that tongue in cheek.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know, because honestly, with rookies in terms of call-ups, given the way that the rules are and the benefit that teams have from keeping your rookies rookie eligible next season so they can qualify for rookie of the year and that sort of thing, I just don't think we're going to see big names until September. And by the time September hits, who knows? So it's just so hard to predict.
Yeah, it's usually like they either call them up for early because they want to roll with it and see what happens, or like to your point, let's wait and keep that eligibility type deal. So yeah, we'll see. Well, that'll wrap it up, amigo. Any final thoughts as we get through the first part 1 of the first half positional recaps? We did catchers, first base, second base, shortstop. That leaves us with third base, outfield, starting pitchers, relief pitchers. Hopefully, should be taken care of next week. We shall see.
We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll weave something in Thursday. We'll talk about it. I got nothing else. I don't know. I don't know where this came from, but Chikini in the chat, who is Tristan English?
He just got called up.
I
remember typing him up.
I remember
typing him up in a news thing. I called it by the D-backs, but I don't know where he's going to play regularly enough. He spent.
What is he? Who is he? Outfielder, infielder?
Well, Fangraphs has him first base, third base, outfield. Played 61 games at AAA at 336, 11 homers, no steals, 59 ribbies. You have a leaderboard you can look at if you'd like, but 14% K rate, massive BABIP. I think he really enjoyed the PCL was the best way I'd put this. I just like if they don't let Jordan Lawler play, I don't see how they let Tristan English play, but I guess he might get some outfield reps.
Yeah. I don't know.
He got called up and Pavin Smith disappeared.
Just wanted to end our first half recap with a quick analysis of Tristan English. That's where we go with this.
That's what we're here for, to please everybody. And if you want more of that good stuff, come join us tomorrow night, for your Week 17 Fab. Big Fab week ahead, a.k.a. the All-Star break. So we'll talk about that much, much more. Maybe like Ryan said, we'll weave in some first half goodness as well. But before we head out of here, make sure you follow Ryan on Twitter at RyanBHQ, the podcast at Bubba Bloom Pod, and on Patreon at patreon.com/Bubba Bloom. I'm at BD Intric. This was Bubba and the Bloom, episode 258. Catch you all next time.